Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Amanya and this is the Conservative Poet. So today we are talking debates for the general, the Senate seat here in Florida. Marco Rubio, Val Demings. The fight. I am going to be taking on the Val Demings persona. Very, very, very excited about that. So, if you're interested in seeing how I pull off being the Madame Demmings herself, stay tuned for that. But beforehand, I'd like to say thank you all for subscribing, sharing, commenting on the work that I'm doing here on The Conservative Poet. Let's go into the debates.
To protect Florida from sea levels projected to rise a foot or more in less than 30 years, while more frequent monster storms threaten our lives and livelihoods.
Thank you for having me here tonight. I stand here before you, the daughter of a maid. I have worked and crawled my way through so much to get here. I was the top cop in our police area here in Orlando, Florida, Orange County. And then I went on to be your congresswoman. And now I stand here before you, getting ready to be your next senator. And I thank you for this daughter of a maid. Look at what I've been able to do here in America. So I thank you for this question. Climate change is real. The waters are rising. The storms are getting stronger every day. We don't have the tools that we need to fight climate change. These natural disasters are more and more frequent and more stronger. We need to get a handle on the climate. Now we need to help FEMA any way we can so they can do more research on how we can control the weather, how we can control natural disasters. We have got to do this, or else we won't have a planet. So, I call upon you, fellow Floridians, to take climate change seriously. Because one day, our planet will be gone if we don't take care of our planet. Because climate change is real.
Ask about the hurricanes. Unfortunately, if you're in public service in Florida, you won't be here long before you're dealing with hurricanes, and we've done so consistently throughout my time in public service. And unfortunately, back in 2017, we had devastating storms, 2018 as well, and now the devastation and destruction that we're still calculating.
Prices for just about everything, housing, gasoline, groceries, are way up. A Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco analysis shows injecting trillions of dollars in pandemic relief into this economy caused up to 3% of what is approaching a 9% U.S. inflation rate. And it's worse in Florida. What can you do to help families now?
Well, I think the first thing we have to start doing is stop kind of money. We had already done two pandemic reliefs. This came on top of it. And they were warned. The Democrats were warned by Larry Summers, by other Democrat economists, you do this, you're going to fire up inflation. So that's number one. Number two is we've got to begin to produce American oil again. Why are we begging Saudi Arabia for oil? Why are we begging Venezuela and Iran for oil? We're producing 1 million barrels a day less on oil than we used to do just a couple years ago. Instead, we are depleting our reserves. Our oil reserves do not exist to win elections. They exist to help this country in an emergency or in the midst of a storm. What we cannot do is some of these crazy policies that are coming from the left that Congresswoman Demmings has supported. You know, she supported a plan to put a $10.25 tax per barrel of oil, which would have been 35 cents per gallon more for everyone listening here today. We can't do that kind of crazy stuff. It only adds to the inflation. I think it begins by winning this election and getting people like that out of office.
To you, you know that is not true. My first term in the United States House, I passed legislation to help law enforcement officers with mental health programs. Your first term in the Senate, you voted to turn Medicare into, basically to abolish it, and then turn it into an underfunded voucher program. And then you gave the biggest tax break to the richest of the rich and said you'd pay for it with cuts to Social Security and Medicare.
Running out of time. I'll give you 30.
No, this is an important topic. So number one, and we'll fact check it. I'm going to put it on my website now, and all of you can love, the media loves to fact check. There is not a single federal law on the books that she sponsored and got passed. Not one. I think she named 2 post offices. I've done that too. But she's not passed a single federal law. That's number.
How dare you? I have done more for the American people than you ever will. I have put in more than just post offices. I have done so much for the American people in my time of service. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
Circumstances of their conception. You've now signed on to fellow Senator Lindsey Graham's bill for a national abortion ban. My question to you specifically is, if reelected, if your vote can make a federal abortion ban with no exceptions the law of the land, will you vote yes?
Number one, I'm 100% pro-life because not because I want to deny anyone their rights, but because I believe that innocent human life is worthy of the protection of our laws. That said, the extremist on abortion in this campaign is Congresswoman Demmings. She supports no restrictions, no limitations of any kind. She voted against she's against the 4-month ban. She voted against the 5-month ban. She supports taxpayer-funded abortion on demand for any reason at any time up until the moment of birth. That's what she supports. That's the extreme position here. I have shown a willingness to work with people to save unborn innocent human life. She opposes any limitation of any kind, and no one ever asks them about that.
Congresswoman Demmings.
Senator, how gullible do you really think Florida voters are? No.
I stand firmly with a woman who chooses to kill her baby to have an abortion. I stand with women's right to choose. I come from the Black population, and I can tell you the Black population is about 13%. Very, very, very small population. But I stand here, an advocate, letting Black women know you truly are the vessel to grow the Black people, the Black race. But if you choose to abort your babies and not grow the Black race, I support you. We, the government, cannot get involved in these things. That's between a woman, her doctor, and her faith. So I do stand with Planned Parenthood as the #1 abortion facility for Black women and extinguishing the Black race. I stand with women, with Black women.
Who cross the southern border will be sent back to Mexico and banned from ever applying for asylum in this country. Do you support that?
You mean Joe Biden just instituted Trump's return to Mexico policy?
There's more to it, but it's the ban on ever applying.
That's exactly what he did. Look, Congresswoman Demmings says that what's happening at the border is nothing unusual. We have 5,000 people a day crossing the border. You know how many people have entered our country illegally since Joe Biden took over as president? 5 million. You know how many have entered this country just in the last 12 months? 2 million. 80 of them on the terror watch list. At least, according to the most generous numbers, at least 1%, meaning 20,000, with serious criminal violations in their record. No.
We are a nation of laws, and I have been the top cop in Orlando and Orange County for 20 some odd years. I have locked up a lot of people. And so America is a compassionate country. So we don't need to build walls around the border. What we need to do is put more boots on the ground. We need to put more people out there on the ground. And I understand people will continue to come It's 5,000 now. It'll be 10,000 soon. But all we need to do is get more people on the ground. We need technology. We can't stop people from coming. We've got to let them in. But we need to do more by putting more boots on the ground. That's how we're going to secure the border. Not telling people not to come, because we're a compassionate country. We've got to let them come. But we have to do our part and have more resources for them. We've got to build more helicopters. We've got to build more drones. We've got to put more bodies on the front lines to help the people coming. That's how we're going to do this. It's not about building walls. Senator Rubio, how gullible do you think the American people are? America is the land of dreams and opportunity, but not if you're a Black woman.